Hey everyone, welcome to Brewing on a Budget. This is Scott, and as always,
Abbey.
Sup Abbey.
Hey guys.
Today we have Mono Green Beaten Machine.
Yes, Green Machine.
Yes, this deck is brought to you by one of our viewers, JS Mill. He sent in the inspiration for this deck, a Mono Green Beat Your Face deck, which was pretty cool, and we've taken our own spin on it. But I know, of course, the first thing that a lot of you are going to notice about this deck is Leatherback Bailiff, Wolfbriar Elemental, Palaka Worm.
My god, aren't those rotating?
Yes, unfortunately, yes, Zendikar block is rotating. I don't know when this video is going up. Innistrad release party might have happened already. It might be happening soon. But yes, all these cards are going to be unplayable in Standard very soon. However, before you shut off the video,
Hey, please don't.
there's a lot of good replacements for these cards in Innistrad. For Leatherback Bailiff, the 3-cost beater, you have, Splinter Fright,
Yeah.
who is Trample. His power and toughness is equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, and you mill 2 during your upkeep.
Not bad.
That guy's going to get just as big as Leatherback Bailiff, if not bigger, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then for Wolfbriar Elemental, who's like a Wrath recovery, you have, the Kessig Cage Breakers.
Yes.
Which is the 3/4 for 4 and a green, and whenever they attack, you put a 2/2 wolf into play for each creature in your graveyard. Sounds like some pretty good Wrath recovery to me.
Yeah.
And Palaka Worm, I mean, he's just your big guy, your go-to big guy. He's an awesome uncommon, and you can replace him with basically any big guy that you have, like Worm Coil Engine or whatever. But another good one in the Innistrad set would be Moldgraph Monstrosity, which is an 8/8 for 7, I think. It has Trample, and when it dies, you return creatures. I don't remember if they're random or not, but you return creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty awesome.
That's pretty good.
Some of those are rares, but I don't think they're going to be expensive rares, so it should be a lot of fun to play this deck, even after rotation, when you replace some of these cards.
Yes.
But also online, Innistrad's not going to be coming out for a while, so this deck is going to be relevant for a little bit longer, and it will be at least relevant through a tournament if we'd like to take this one through it.
Yes.
But of course, the most important reason we're doing this deck now is because, as we said, it was sent in to us by our viewers, and we want to get it out, even if it's at the last possible second.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's still got some play in it.
So, onto the deck itself. The deck list that was sent to me by JS Mill, it was pretty cool. I really liked the Leatherback Bailiffs in it and the Dungrove Elders, but I didn't like how it didn't really have too many ways to interact with your opponent, so I put in a lot of cards that do that, like Mold Shambler, which basically you kick it, you destroy target Planeswalker most of the time. Acidic Slime comes into play, you destroy their Tempered Steel, their Sword, whatever.
Not to mention the Death Touch.
Yes, and I replaced his finisher of Primordial Hydra with Palaka Worm, since the difference between a growing Primordial Titan and a Primordial Hydra and Palaka Worm isn't that big, and this guy gains you life and draws cards. So he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also threw in some Lead the Stampedes, because this deck is mostly creatures. In fact, it's all over half creatures, so usually Lead the Stampede ends up at least being a divination for you. Sometimes it draws 3/4. I've drawn, of course, 5 cards with it, and I've whiffed on it before. And part of that whiffing comes in the fact that we have Rampant Growths in the main deck. I'm not sure if these should be Sylvan Rangers, but so far I've liked getting the land on the battlefield immediately, rather than waiting to just after getting it in my hand with Sylvan Ranger.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a good card. We'll have to try it out.
Sylvan Ranger? Yeah, it makes our Lead the Stampedes a little better, but Rampant Growth makes our Dungrove Elder better because he gets huge with more forest, and our Wolfbriar Elemental better because then we can kick more wolves onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Speaking of lands, we're mono forest. We don't have any Tectonic Edge or Oran Reefs, even though we could easily put them in. I just want to test and see how it is with forest. If we find we really need Oran Reefs or Tectonic edges, we'll obviously put them in. And another thing that you guys might notice is we don't have any Arbor Elves. I did originally have Arbor Elves, but I found that they made Wraths hurt us much more than they should, because of course you can turn 1 forest, land war into Bailiff, and I wanted to get that as much as possible, but what happened most of the time was that I just invested all of my mana into these elves, and I'd have an Llanowar Elf out, Arbor Elf out, and then when I got Wrathed, I'd suddenly be back to 2 lands instead of 5, like I thought I had when I had the elves out. And even getting out a turn 2 Dungrove Elder, it's not usually that great, because he'll be a 2/2 at best.
Yeah.
So
you want your Dungrove Elder to be big.
Yeah, exactly. So I opted to go for the slightly slower with Rampant Growths and Viridian Emissaries, but I think it's more stable and against Wraths and everything. So looking to the sideboard, We have some Beast Withins, which will take care of any troublesome permanents. And this deck also has problems with really big creatures, I guess, or really creatures that do a lot of stuff like Grave Titan, Phyrexian Obliterator,
Elvish
Norn. Yeah, these creatures are much safer as 3/3 beasts. We have a single Fresh Meat, because we already have a lot of Wrath recovery with the Wolfbriars and the Lead the Stampedes, so I just have one Fresh Meat. We'll see if that should go to 2 or not in the matches, or 0 if we don't need it at all. And we have a split between Naturalizes and Nature's Claims for the twin matchup.
Yes, it's pretty even.
Yeah, the reason I'm not running 4 Nature's Claims is because now they've all been running a lot of Mental Missteps, and I think Naturalize might be a little better, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll just go to 4 Nature's Claim.
We'll try it out.
Of course, for those of you who don't know, the way you use these enchantment destructions is in response to them tapping their Deceiver Exarch for the first time. That's when you destroy it. Because if you do it then they'll get 1 Deceiver Exarch, but that's it. Their Splinter Twin will be destroyed, and they'll be left with 1 copy of a Deceiver Exarch that they can attack with, and then it's gone forever at the end of the turn. So yeah. And then we just have some Obstinate Bailiffs help us against mono red aggro or whatever. And that's pretty much it for our mono green deck. It looks like I've been testing it out, and it actually plays pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to trying it against a lot of matches. I haven't got the Splinter Twin matchup yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully we get it. I haven't seen this deck in play yet, but it looks good to me, and I really like Polacco Worm.
You do really like Polacco Worm.
So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, so we'll see if we want Sylvan Ranger, how many times we get turn to Leatherback Bailiff, and we'll see how this deck does against the field.
Yes, let's try it out.